Well, friends, it's 4:30, so we're going to get started because I don't want to miss a single minute of today's Zoom. So first of all, I just want to welcome everyone and say Happy New Year. Yay! Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I trust that you all had a fabulous Christmas holidays and an even better New Year. And so one of my favorite things about Mary Kay is that we get to celebrate 2 New Years. We get our Mary Kay New Year and we get our fiscal New Year. So look at us. So we're just heading into the next 6 months of our seminar year. And I just know with all my heart that these next 6 months are going to be the most powerful 6 months for each of our units. So I am so excited. So I was so lucky enough to score us a guest for tonight. And so I am bringing you the best of the best and the ferocious leader of our company, Miss Lynda Rose. Yay! So Lynda has agreed to come on tonight and to say hello and share her words of wisdom. I'm sure all of you know who Lynda is, but you know what? I just want to say, like, coming from us, your sales directors who have been working on these Zoom calls, this is really special to us and really important. Lynda is a tremendous influence in each of us in our business and how we have developed as leaders. And so we just are so grateful and so thankful that she's here to share with us tonight and to light your panties on fire, girlfriends, because we are going to make the best 6 months ever. So you know what? I'm not going to take up any more time because I know that Lynda has so much greatness to share. And so Lynda, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be on the call. And I was actually invited myself when I was talking to Raven. I said, do you want me to come on? Can I come on a call? Maybe I'll just come on and say hi. And so she invited me to be a part of this. So I'm thrilled to be a part because like Raven said, we get to have 2 New Years in Mary Kay. And the beauty of Mary Kay is that the best news about your business is that 70% of your business and your sales and your goals will happen in the last 3 months of this year. So let's say you had a little soft July to December, you weren't doing as much as you should have done, you knew you should have done a little bit more, you've got opportunity to turn that around and you have opportunity to change that. I do just want to say that you can't tell this to anybody else, but you are lucky to have 4 of the best sales directors in Canada. Raven, Angie, Care, I see you all nodding, and Nadia truly are, for me, the future of Mary Kay Canada. And I really rely on these ladies because I love their innovation. I love how they think. They're entrepreneurial and they truly have the Mary Kay heart. So I just want to say how much I appreciate you and how lucky you are to have such great directors. So you're just learning from the best of the best. These are women that have done incredible things in Mary Kay Canada and continue to lead by example. And I'm really, really proud of them. And I consider them great friends, which is really special to have people that you admire, but you also consider your friends. But I want to talk about you, and I want to talk about you this next 6 months and the things that are going to be important for you as you move out. The reality of our business is no matter what you do in our business, it involves bookings. It involves selling product and it involves sharing the opportunity. And so I think sometimes we like to look at this business and say, maybe there's a shortcut, maybe there's a different way that I can do things. But unfortunately, no matter what role you take, you are always going to be in the position where you're going to need bookings. And the beauty of what we do in Mary Kay is that if you look at the rest of the beauty world and you look at what's happening, we are more relevant now than we have ever been. Yes, there's competition in, the Amazons of the world and how quickly they might ship product. But if you utilize Amazon and you think about it, they can't give you customer service. They may know your name through a computer. They don't know what time is best to deliver to you. They don't know your favorite products. And that's where we step in as Mary Kay, and the ability to do that and the ability to give great customer service. When I joined the cosmetics industry many, many years ago, but 35 years ago, we had stores like Eaton's, we had Simpsons, we had Sears, we had Bretton's, we had Woodward's. And now really what you're left with in Canada are institutions like the Bay, Shoppers Drug Mart, and Sephora. And so in your communities, you have this huge opportunity to be able to share Mary Kay and to be able to take an opportunity and to give great customer service. So I want you to know that the opportunity in my mind for selling a product and gaining that customer service base is better than it's ever been before. And, you know, a great story that Nathan Moore told me, who's our president of the North American region, he'd gone to Vail, Colorado with his wife, and they'd gone with 3 or 4 other couples. And when they got to the chalet, she wanted to do a spa night. And she wanted to have the biocellulose mask, and she wanted to share it with her girlfriends, but she realized she had totally forgotten to bring it. So he said, you know, I'm sitting there with all my friends, and I thought, well, here we go. I'm going to go on a personal website, and I'm going to reach out to a consultant and see what happens. And so without them knowing it was Nathan, his wife, Joy, went on the website, and she reached out to a woman and said, I'd like to purchase a pack of the biocellulose mask. Within 5 minutes, that consultant got back to Joy, had the product delivered to Joy within under 35 minutes. Now, Amazon can't beat that. And she did not know that it was Nathan's wife. There was no indication. In fact, they didn't tell her till when they actually got home, and then Nathan phoned her to thank her for such great customer service. That's the difference that we have within our community. So I want you to know that you really do truly have a competitive advantage when you get out there. So I want you to make bookings the most important thing of your business. Somebody asked me the other day at a luncheon, a Salesforce member, what's the number one thing that I think makes someone successful in this business? And I truly believe it is that ability to be consistent in their business. Consistency is the number one key that you want to focus on. I don't want to hear that you've done a class this week and then you didn't do any for 2 weeks, and then you didn't do it. You did one again, and then you didn't do any for 3 weeks. You know, it's kind of like riding a bike. The more you do them, the more proficient you become in them, the more confident you become in them, and the better you get at booking. So I'm not saying you have to do a 10-show week. I'm not saying you have to do all of that crazy things, but you do need to be consistent. So whether that's doing 2 shows every week or 3 shows every week, and develop consistency within your schedule for your family. Yes, sometimes that's going to fluctuate, but when you're booking with your customers, they don't know what night you're busy. I mean, they might think you're busy every night of the week, and you tell them, well, I have Tuesday or Thursday night open. Which one would be best for you? You know, customers will adapt to you. So make sure that you're working within your family schedule, but make sure that you are consistent. There are 4 things that I know that will determine the success of a consultant in this business. And obviously the first one is success is the number of faces that you see each week. And, you know, we can kind of correlate that. I just did a little bit of analysis on that. And really, to be a Sapphire Star, you have to see consistently 10 to 15 faces a month, where you're selling on average about $100. By doing that, that's going to get you consistently into your Sapphire Star. If I look at a ruby, that would be around 24 faces, diamond would be around 36, and then your pearl and emeralds will go up from there around 48 or 50 faces a month. I mean, that's the focus that you want to get to, where you become consistent and you reap that reward. So I want you to start to measure the number of faces that you see each week, and how often you're putting product on people's face. And that's going to be one of the keys. So the more people you see, the more successful you will become. You have to fall in love with doing your classes. You have to fall in love with getting out and seeing your customers. The second thing that determines your success in our business is the ability to handle the word no. And, you know, that word no is sometimes really scary, but it's also one that you're never ever going to die from. It's one that's never ever going to hurt you, but your ability to handle that word becomes a lot easier in this business. And I would turn to your directors, and they have received countless no's in this business, and numerous no's, but it doesn't stop them from where they want to move ahead. And I often say, you know, if you think about going to a restaurant and they ask you if you want to have dessert and you say, no, I'm good, I don't need any dessert, the waitress isn't going in the back room crying, and she's not upset because because you said no to her. That's the same thing within your business. Learn to have that ability to say no. And even when you're booking your classes and you're on that phone, put a Q-tip near your phone and reminding you that to quit taking it personally. A no has nothing to do with you. A no just means they maybe need a little bit more information, and they need to understand more about what you're doing. And the most important thing is to remember that within 48 hours of doing your class, that is when women are most receptive to the Mary Kay opportunity and most receptive to Mary Kay, because they've had a great time at their class. They're going back into the office the next day and they're saying, you know, I really had a good time. I got to use that Mary Kay product and it was really, really fabulous. You know, have you ever tried Mary Kay? That is your kind of perfect storm hours when you want to be following up with the customers that were there and with that hostess, because she's really in tune because you've given a great party. The next thing about how badly do you want this? I mean, you need to, at this point in time, decide what is your goal. What is your short-term goal, which Mary Kay said was 30 days? What is your long-term goal, which is 60 days? We often say a long-term goal might be to like 6 months, but really Mary Kay talked a lot about 30 and 60 days. What is it you want to accomplish? What are the things that you need to accomplish for your family? What is the financial responsibilities that you have? And when you determine that, you will determine how badly you want to do something for your family. And, you know, all you have to do is read the paper. Canadian consumer debt is high. I don't know about you, but my son's 22. I swear he costs me more money now than he ever did when he was a baby. I need more money now than I ever did. So, you know, there's a need. Attach that to what, you know, my kid, thank God he never played hockey, because I know kids that play hockey, that's really expensive. I just had to go to museums all the time. But, you know, those types of things, how badly do you want this? And what is it you want? And I encourage you to really have like a 30-day goal and have a reward for your family, so that, you know, so much of what we do in Mary Kay is about building our confidence of achieving a goal. And sometimes we set goals that are almost too lofty when we haven't done the background work to get to it. Okay, so set a goal that you can start to achieve success and that you feel the success of this business. And as you achieve one goal, then you achieve the next goal. Then you achieve the next goal. And then that confidence just starts to soar because you're feeling much more confident about your goal. The next thing I want you to think about is, what is the story that you're telling yourself? What is the story that you're telling yourself of why you're successful in this business, or maybe why you're not successful in this business? You know, we often tell ourselves as women a whole bunch of dumb stories about how we're not as good as them. I'm not as good as Carol. I'm not as pretty as Raven. I'm not as smart as Angie. I'm not as personable as Nadia. And we make up in our mind these stories of who these people are. And oftentimes we associate these stories with these people and we make them out. They are special people. Everybody is special. But we associate this, that they have this magic dust that's all over them and we can't replicate it. And I think sometimes the stories that we tell ourselves are not true. And we make barriers for ourselves as women because we're making assumptions that things are easier in their lives than they are in your life. So don't make those assumptions. All of us have issues. All of us have barriers. But what is the story that you're telling yourself of why you can achieve something and why you can't achieve something? The one thing I'll say to you is time is short. And time in this business goes very, very quickly. I was signing anniversary cards today for my staff. And of course, my name was on the list because in January, I joined the company 22 years ago. I can't believe that when I joined, my son was 8 months old. That's how fast the time goes. So oftentimes I think we as women think, well, I've got time when the kids get a little bit older, when the kids move out, when the kids go to high school. Time goes really quickly. Time moves very quickly. So how badly do you want something? And what is the story that you're telling yourself? And I've often said is that there's two things you can control in Mary Kay. And the only two things that you can control in this business is how many faces you put the product on and how many people you offer the opportunity to. Those are really the only things you can control. You can't control if they say yes. You can't control if they purchase. You can't control if they hold the party. Those have nothing to do with you. But what you can control is, did you put product on faces and did you offer the opportunity? If at the end of the month, you can say to your director, yeah, I put product on 10 or 15 faces this month and I shared the opportunity 3 or 4 times, that's a huge success. Whether you move forward or not, because you're building that consistency. So I wanted to share something with you that as you go out to do your classes and as you go out to build your business and as you go out to talk to people, a kind of angle that you may want to take as you're doing some of your classes and as you're talking to your customers. And it's why wash your face with Mary Kay. because they have choices. They don't have to purchase from Mary Kay, but I think it's important as you're talking to them to say to them that, did you know that we as women influence 80% of all purchases in North America? And that's a lot of powers of dollars and investment in products and companies who align with our value systems in Mary Kay. So when you purchase a Mary Kay cleanser, you're helping me align my value system and helping me to move forward in our business. And we know that in the direct selling industry in Canada, the industry is made up of 80% female. So you are truly supporting female entrepreneurs in Canada. Did you know that when you wash your face with Mary Kay, you're directly investing in a woman-owned, local-owned small business that impacts not only your hopes and dreams, but impacts your families? And in fact, when you choose to wash with Mary Kay products tonight, you are actually influencing a life. So when they think about that, I would be sharing with them that close to 30,000 women in Canada sell Mary Kay products, and that you're helping to impact my family's life. I am one of 30,000 women in Canada that own my own business. So thank you for supporting my local owned business. Those are really some of the great things you want to share with them so that they understand that you're truly operating your own business. And then you want to share with them that more than 3 million women around the world sell Mary Kay. Did they know that when they purchase that or the wash from you, or the face wash from you, that they're supporting the local economy? What many people don't understand is that direct selling in Canada, whether it be Mary Kay, Arbonne, all of us collectively, we contribute over $800,000 worth of taxes back into the Canadian economy. So we're giving back into the economy by you being entrepreneurs. Or sorry, $1 million in taxes, 78% are female, and in direct selling, we do more than $1.3 billion in sales in Canada. So this is a very, very important industry. But what is very exciting is that over $1 million is given back to Canadian charities directly that affect charities in Canada. And of course, then you can go on and talk about the Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation. All of these, not that you have to share all of this, but sometimes these little nuggets are really great ways of connecting during your class. Did you know that when you choose to wash your face with Mary Kay, you're supporting a company that was started by Mary Kay Ash? We're a company designed by a woman, for women, where women can be paid what they're worth without sacrificing their priorities of faith first, family second, career third. And of course, we operate and live by the golden rule. Important to share that mission. Did you know that Mary Kay is a private family-owned company that's been in business for more than 50 years with more than $4 billion in annual wholesale sales, and that we are 100% debt-free? And that's a very important thing for them to understand, is that we're still family-owned and that we are 100% debt-free. And in Canada, we've been operating more than 40 years. And, you know, we are the #8 subsidiary in the Mary Kay world, and we operate in over 37 markets around the world. Great little tips that you want to share with them so they understand the scope and the business that you're a part of. Did you know that when you buy a Mary Kay product, that most of it's been built in our new state-of-the-art manufacturing and research and development facility just outside of Dallas, Texas, that we are focused on research, we are focused on innovation, we're focused on being sustainable by pink doing green. And Mary Kay's manufacturing facility in Dallas and the 5 distribution centers in the US and in Canada have 0 landfill status. And you're supporting a company that really does support it. In Canada, we do a lot of initiatives for Pink Doing Green, where we work with our local conservation areas and we're replanting trees, and that's something that we truly do focus on. Did you know that we support women, you know, that we're helping women that are dealing with domestic violence, where we give to every shelter in every province and territory. And we're really happy this year that literally every province and territory got an award this year. And that when we started, we were only doing around $2,500, and we now have raised that to $10,000 per shelter each year. So Canada in itself is doing a lot to support domestic violence. And then, of course, there is our association with the Look Good Feel Better, which you really want to talk about. And of course, I'm very proud of that. But that 68% of all volunteers are with Mary Kay. We are the largest cash donator to this program, where we donate more than $100,000 in cash plus product each year to support women living with cancer. And I think it's just important that they understand that by choosing Mary Kay, they choose to really support us as a company, and there's a global impact around the world. When you look at more than 5,000 global employees, more than 3 million worldwide independent Salesforce members in 35 countries, who all of us say thank you, because you're allowing them we get to work with Mary Kay because of their support of you. So I think it's important as you go out and do your bookings that you kind of bring the business back home of how it is impacting your life, how it is impacting the community's life. They're actually supporting the community by supporting you when you do this. So, I encourage you to go focus on those bookings and to be really diligent about being strong in getting that done this year, so that you have a constant refill of bookings on at all times. As I said, I mean, in some communities, I can use a town of Thunder Bay in Ontario, who literally has absolutely no department stores anymore. So Mary Kay becomes a very, very viable option. Okay, so you can't move up this business unless you're selling the product and you're moving the people. You can try to just recruit, that's not going to work. You can try to just sell, that's not always going to work. But when you do that selling and recruiting and you get that machine moving, that's how you're absolutely going to grow into this business. So I want you to think about your business as your business. You are the CEO of your own company, and it's important for you to remember that a business without a vision isn't a business. It is really just a pastime. So what is the vision for your business? Each of you are the CEOs of your own company. Each of you have a vision for what you want. Are you writing it down? Are you articulating that? And understand that every booking that you do is going to help you to get closer to that business goal and towards that vision. I love so much when I watch these directors who do such a great job of talking about, say, maybe going on the trip to Ireland or Scotland, and all of a sudden they break it down. It's like 24,000 lipsticks. That to me is so cool, because it helps you to understand what you need to do in order to go ahead. Figure out how many miracle sets you need to sell in order to take your kids on that vacation that you want to take on. Work that goal backwards, but make sure that booking is your passion. The other thing I want you to think about is that when you have activity, you might get results, but not great results. But when you have activity and passion, that's when you're really going to get results. When you go out to these classes and you're excited and you're motivated, and I've never met a Mary Kay consultant yet who isn't passionate when she has bookings on. The women that aren't passionate about our business, and you're all smiling, I can see that, because you know how that feels. When you've got bookings, you feel legitimate in the business. When you don't have bookings, you're like, oh. And then it's really easy to not go to your unit meeting that week because I don't need to go. I didn't have any classes. And then that slips into 2 weeks. And then it slips into 3 weeks. And then before you know it, you've missed a month of unit meetings. So, it's like a diet, right? The first couple of days, it seems really easy. And by the third day, you're ready to eat your arm off, that type of thing. But, get passionate about having activity into your day timer. That's how you're going to be happy. And I guarantee if you're not happy in this business, it's a reflection of your day timer. So as I said to you before, I don't expect you to be doing 6 classes a week away from your family, but I do want you to be consistent in this business. Cars can be earned by doing 2 to 3 classes a week. Rings can be earned by doing 2 to 3 classes a week. And when you get good at it, the leaders in our business, you're doing those classes in under 2 hours. And, when I did my 13-show week, I did a 13-show week because I wanted to do what you guys do. When I got real good at it, my goal was always to be in and out of that house in under 2 hours. You can become good at this because you're going to have a system. If you've got kids at home, you pay them to clean up your trays and your mirrors and do the things that you don't need to be doing. That way they get to feel a part of this passion. But what I want to leave with you is I want you to think about your business. If you have uncertainty, you don't have clarity. You have to have clarity and know what is your why and why you're heading forward in this business. Why are you doing this? What is the goal? What do you want to achieve? What's the financial freedom that you want to achieve? And there is this opportunity is still so viable, and it's still, I sat with a director in Ontario, and we went for lunch with some of her stars this week, and they'd invited me for lunch, and it was so fascinating because each of these women, some were from Syria, some were from, one woman was from Riyadh, another one was from Saudi Arabia, two others were from Jordan. They had diamonds all over their hands. I brought the seminar jewelry. It looked like, you know, chump change to some of their diamonds. But what they talked about was coming from those countries. It wasn't the diamond, it was the achievement of having done something as a woman to be a part and to accomplish a goal. And that's what I think is the most important, is that you feel that accomplishment of achieving a goal. And I think achieving a goal in Mary Kay is very simply like flying an airplane. And I fly on a ton of airplanes. Last year, I did over 100,000 miles and I did 58 flights. I'm a 1,000,000-mile flyer with Air Canada. It's insane. So last year, I mean, I've done that 2 years in a row where I've done 100,000 miles. And, you know, now they treat me really well. So when I get on a plane, the pilot comes out and introduces himself. And I have to check to see if he's single, because I'm single now, you know, got to see what's going on out there. No, I'm just teasing. Maybe sometimes, you never know. But anyways, when that plane takes off, I digress. 30% of the fuel is taking off to get the plane off the ground. And if you've been on a plane and it bumps and bumps and it's really loud and it shakes and it shakes and it shakes, then all of a sudden we hit cruising altitude, the seatbelt light comes off, and things are good. We have the odd bump where we might go up and down, but for the most part, you're flying and it's pretty safe. And then that plane now descends, and now it's getting noisier, rougher and rougher and rougher and rougher, and it bounces and bounces and bounces, and then it bounces on the tarmac. That is your business when you're not consistent. So if in these last 6 months you haven't been as consistent as you have been or wanted to be, it's going to be like a plane. I promise you. You're going to take off. It's going to be a little bit rough. You're going to have a few cancellations. You're going to be a bit insecure because you haven't done it in a while. But I promise you, once you get that plane in the air and you start to become consistent, it's going to get really smooth. You might have the odd bump where you hit some turbulence, but as long as you keep the plane in the air, you're going to continue to grow, okay? But when you stop that and then you bounce down, you're going to have to restart again, and it's going to be a little bit bumpier. So it's much easier for you to think of your business like keeping an airplane in the air and having it run smooth. And that's my hope and my wish for you. There's not magic pills in Mary Kay. Mary Kay involves work, but I would say to you that the work that we do in here is a heck of a lot easier than sometimes the work we do in other places. We just make it harder because we're harder on ourselves. We're harder on ourselves as women when it comes to that deserve level, what we think we're capable of, and comparing ourselves to others. And that's where we have to get better at that. And that's why, as I said at the beginning of the call, you guys are so lucky because you have such great leaders. The 4 women that lead you are the best in the business. And they weren't all perfect when they started. I've seen some of their red jacket pictures. They've come a long way. They look good now, right? We were all rough when we started. But that's what I want you to get. It's okay to fail. It's okay to stumble, but let's just try to keep your plane in the air. And I know you've heard this a million times, but if you're an MK lifer, which I think many of you are, life is going to happen. It's always going to happen. But we have to continue to keep moving, and we have to continue to keep moving forward. So my hope for you is that you take the word consistency, go to the dollar store, buy yourself a little airplane, put it on your desk, put it near your bookings, and remember to keep your plane in the air. And I just want to say thank you for letting me be on the call. And I look forward to watching all of these great results, because all the work that you do in January, February, March is going to propel you in April, May, June, where you do 70% of your business. So even if you haven't tracked to do the court yet, it is totally feasible to do it starting today. Okay, so go get her done.
Yay! Woohoo! Isn't she amazing? Wow. Thank you so much, Lynda. We are seriously grateful. I'm so happy. And isn't it so true? I love what she said about consistency being key, because I truly believe that is what has made all the difference in my business. And that, 10 to 15 faces a month is a sapphire star. How doable is that? right? We complicate things and sometimes we make things seem hard, but 10 to 15, that's nothing. It sounds so achievable. I also loved how she said that small tidbits of information in your classes, you know, telling them that little bit of information and all that, and that extra little things that they don't know about Mary Kay. I truly believe that that is why I've had so many more people join my team, is because I share with them the heart of Mary Kay. People don't know our heart in Mary Kay, and that's what they need to hear and know what we are part of, right? And I loved how she said a business without a vision isn't a business. Isn't that true? Oh my gosh, you guys, I love it. So before Lynda leaves, let's give her, everybody, if you want to take yourself off mute and say, maybe tell us and give Lynda some affirmation on her words and what stuck out to you and the tidbits that you're taking home and your takeaways from tonight. Just give her some affirmation on how amazing she is. Ladies, let's hear it.
Does everybody know how to unmute yourself?
She's fabulous. So
fabulous. What are you taking away?
What am I taking away is just, well, a renewal of those tidbits. I sort of have dropped those, not some of them, but anyway, that's what I'm going to focus on.
Good.
In Nova Scotia.
Yay.
Okay, I may as well jump in. Thank you, Lynda, so much. This was awesome. And yes, I'll do my classes. I'll make my bookings.
Good girl. Good girl.
I was a little like starstruck when I came on here and saw your face. I even said that there was a special guest tonight, but she didn't say who it was. So I was texting some of my team members. I was like, get on the call right now. So anyways, I really liked the tidbits that you said. When you said, bring the business back home. I really like that because I used to do that. And like somebody else said, I kind of lost it a little bit along the way. But I'm going to bring that back. And also, we think this business is hard only because we're hard on ourselves. Like that, and I can see that.
Yeah. Good. That's great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, it's Susan. I just want to say, like, for me, it was like, I know that we're not supposed to take no's personally, but it's hard not to. So that was mine, was just a reminder, the ability to receive the no's and like your QTP, the quit taking it personally. That kind of like, yep, that's me. Because once you get it, you kind of get stuck back in that, do I want to get back on the phone, or should I, shouldn't I? Well, maybe I better go do laundry and I'll think about it and come back and do it, right?
Yeah.
That was it. And
you know, when you have a really good class, it's like I said, 24 hours to 36 hours after, they love Mary Kay because they've had a good time with you. That's the key time to call those people and get them to book another class. So, you know, once you've had that great class, they've already seen now, they're not afraid of what you do. Most women are just like, well, what's she going to do at my class? What, is she going to try and recruit me? Just go and have a good time with them and help them to feel that product. And, you know, you'll get into that rhythm and it will be so much easier, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was great.
Anytime.
Yay. We'll take you up on that.
Okay.
All right. Well, girls, I'm going to put all your names. I have them all written down here. If you don't have your name on here and it just says iPhone or something or Galaxy and your number, I have that on here. So if it's you, we'll find out. I have it in my little Hello Gorgeous mug, and I'm going to do this. All right. So before I pull this name, I just want to take another minute to say thank you to Lynda. It is late in Ontario, so we appreciate you taking the time to do this with us and sharing with us your words of wisdom. We're always grateful to be in your presence, and I'm just.
I want to show you something that came today because I'm
Sure.
getting my puppy, and her little new scarf came today. Her name's Prada.
Oh my
Oh my gosh, stop it.
That's very
Awesome. I love it.
I can't wait to see pictures. I can't
I
even
will.
wait. It was sounds good. Okay, cool.
Who won? I want to hear who won.
Okay, we're gonna do who won. So yes, so thank you. We're gonna see, us leaders are gonna see you soon here at Leadership.
Sunday.
So we'll give you a big squeeze for everybody. Okay, So here we go. I'm mixing them all up. Blah, 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 blah. And so I'm going to mail somebody a prize. So the rule is, if you're obviously not in my unit, I won't have your address. So message your sales director and say, that was me. And then I will get your address and mail you a prize. So I have the winner. Katie K. Thank you, Katie, for coming on. Thank you for each of you for investing in your business, for believing in us, your leaders, and taking the time out of your busy schedule, out of your life to invest and be here with us every single time makes a difference. You never know what you're going to learn and what you're going to take home. The great thing about these Zoom calls is that you are learning from a different leader each week. And so each of us has something different, a different skill, a different mindset. So come back every single week, tell all your girlfriends how amazing it is, and we'll see you back here next week. All right, ladies, have the most powerful week. We love you. We love you.
I'll
We
see
love
you at
you.
Vision
Make this
2020.
month magical.
I'm attending every
Vision
one of the
2020. We will be there.
I want to see all of you there.
Is there a
We will
meeting
be
next week? Well, you guys are all in Orlando?
Yes,
I'm sorry, is there what?
absolutely. Consistency is key,
Nadia.
my friend.
Nadia, you look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. And I am teaching next week. You don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it.
Lynda.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. We will be here each week. Hopefully you will too. Bye, girls.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.